Hi, welcome back. I'm Steve Kephart coming to you here from the greater Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. Been kind of chilly here the last couple of days. We got some snow today though, and it just won't stop snowing. And I was thinking to myself, hey, I thought we lived in this great climate up here in Iowa. It's supposed to snow there in Florida, right? I mean, they technically got more snow than we were getting, but that's still strange. First time ever, hey, had a blizzard warning in New Orleans. That's kind of comical, kind of a add to the weird and great week we've had. Monday was probably the best Monday I have felt since probably in school as a kid, possibly. Um, well, Liberation Day. They actually did allow Trump to take the oath and right away making pokes at everybody, kind of. Um, One of his first acts here, not one of his first acts, but he did talk about changing over Mount Denali that was taken, was originally Mount McKinley up there in Alaska. Obama changed it to Denali because, we can't be, it's got to be inclusive to natives and from Alaska, but we're going to rename that to Mount McKinley again. And it was kind of funny hearing Trump say that in the middle of the speech just because, Obama's sitting right there. And as is, his wife wouldn't even want to show up either. That's comical. I know there's divorce rumors. Who cares? Um, that's just kind of comical. But um, Biden was trying to take a nap, I guess, during the ceremony there. I didn't quite catch all of that, but thought it was very nice of Barrett Trump to go over there and give him a nice handshake. It, it's fitting. It's fitting. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. You know, I'm sure he has a lot of animosity towards the Bidens and Harris. Uh, Melania definitely does. That was the statement, I do believe, by wearing that beautiful hat that she was wearing. It was just a statement to them that I can fake a smile, but you're not going to see my eyes because all that's in my eyes right now is red. Um, it was Biden and Harris administration that led to the whole raid of Mar-a-Lago over uh, records that this raid should have never happened. If we go back to when Bill Clinton left office, he had audio recordings and video of highly classified stuff that he took out of office when he left, and it was ended up in his sock drawer. The sock gate, Clinton sock drawer case, where he had classified material. Well, it went on to the court. The court never even saw what was on the material, what material he even had. You know, they didn't have to go through the whole discovery of if this is classified or not classified material, if he can have it, if he can't have it. His presidential rights to be able to, Presidential Records Act allows him to keep that if he so chooses. Um, so is Reagan and Bush, H.W. Bush. Carter was one of the first ones, but uh, and Obama. I mean, then all of a sudden, the same rules didn't apply to Trump, so we got to go on with this huge witch hunt for classified documents that were locked in a very secure room with Secret Service actually being in building 99% of the time. I imagine it is 100% of the time, but I don't know with the Secret Service, the way it's been being ran the last 4 years. I mean, good Lord, they did almost screw up royally and let our president get shot. But God blessed us. We have the greatest president of my lifetime back in office, taking care of business, shutting the border down right away. Uh, and it's closed. It is permanently closed for 90 days. Um, no migrants, illegals, and it's been retermed that they are illegal aliens are coming across the border unless they're sneaking through. But at the same point in time, right now, he's got 1,500 active duty military going to the border to assist Border Patrol. The Border Patrol, under the direction of Tom Homan, now is already started to arrest. They've already arrested over 300 illegals. I know that's 300 out of possibly 13 to 20 million. It's a start. We did hear about some places where they were actually going back across the border. Um, that's funny, but the flights I do believe have stopped. I got to check that. Somebody else handled that. I watch kind of follow does the whole airplane stuff, but it's great. Uh, they've been flying them in from down there, at least from the Darien Gap, Colombia, Belize, a lot of these countries down there. So that stopped. We can't stress how much of a strain this this last 4 years has been on our whole economy as a whole. I mean, we see it with the inflation, but what a lot of people don't realize is all this mass immigration up here, and Donald Trump is right. This is an invasion. A few hundred people is a migration. Uh, Once you get past a certain number, and I'm sure once we're at 1 million, it's safe to say that it's now not just immigration. This is an invasion, especially when we're getting people from all different countries. Also, we're getting a lot of military aged Chinese guys. We have Ukrainians. We have Russians, Pakistanis. Uh, you name the country, they're pretty much have been caught coming across the border. Well, now it's stopped. The Remain in Mexico policy is back. So, but even then, we're not taking you in for at least 90 days. He's going to go back and look at that in 90 days. Uh, and if there's not much relief being seen, which there's going to be tons of relief being seen, but if we're still catching a bunch trying to sneak in on other ports of our border, we're going to do the Insurrection Act, and that will help mobilize the military to help out and be police along with the Border Patrol, which we almost are at that point, I think, where that probably should have been just used right off the bat. I wouldn't be giving it 90 days. Within this 30 days, we do need to have, and maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but I think the military acting, helping act to police our borders is something that they would be very proud to do. They are protecting the homeland itself. I really think that Border Patrol uh, should be able to access and use military assets, intelligence to actual troops. I mean, we got some MPs. I mean, for the most part, they're going to know a lot of the laws, but uh, it I think it would be more beneficial that we do use the military. I mean, this is protection of our homeland. This is one of the main things that they're signed up to do is to protect us. But uh, stopping all this illegal stuff, getting them out of this country, you got to realize where is this money coming from that has been supporting them. We hear about them in Chicago and some in LA, in New York City, all these major cities where they're getting put up in these $2,000 a night or less hotel rooms. Probably not that expensive, but they're getting put up in these hotel rooms. They're given like $3,500 in cash on a debit card. They're giving food stamps. Where's all this money coming from for that? Yes, there's NGOs that are helping pay that out, which NGOs are lobbying Congress to give them money to stay afloat, to still be a nonprofit, but federally funded nonprofit. It doesn't matter. It's still our tax money going to use to do give them that. Plus the fact that they're getting a lot of them are having free Medicare, free health care. Where's that coming from? Oh, that's coming out of your Medicare payments that you've been paying in, and we're hoping to God that once you retire, you can go on Medicaid, and the rules keep getting messed up. That half the time, I mean, you do have to have supplemental insurance besides Medicare, or otherwise you can go be 70 years old and you're going to go into debt because of just copays and stuff. So because you might not qualify to get full whatever. But then I mean, this money is coming out of it. That we're paying medical bills out of the money that you think you're going to get in retirement. Same with Social Security. There's a lot of Social Security money coming out to support the illegals in this country. It's been voted on by the Democrats. And one of the arguments I always had with some of these liberals a long time ago was the Social Security thing. How the Republicans want to get rid of it. They're always trying to gut it and everything. So I went through and every time that it was voted on to steal a little bit of money out of the Social Security, it was always Democrat control. There was a Democrat lead. The Democrats all voted for it, none voted against it, and of course some Republicans went along with it. So that gives them the right then to say that Republicans want to do this, because some did, two did, but 100 didn't. It's gaslighting. But getting them out, how we could stabilize this whole everything. I mean, not just from the aspect of your Medicare, your Social Security, the housing, the rent increases, not just inflation, but because, if the federal government's helping fund these people to stay here, we're going to max out our rent. We're going to optimize every single dollar. Again, playing politics, we got to get rid of these illegals. One good thing that just came up today, and actually happened earlier this week on Liberation Day, where the Senate passed through the Lincoln Riley Act, and then it had to go back to the House to have, because there are some amendments in the passage in the Senate, so they sent it back to the House, and the House did vote it. It is going to Donald Trump's desk to be signed. There was 46 Democrats that went along with every single Republican voted on it. There was 156 Democrats that said, no, we don't want to pass it. We don't want to pass this legislation because they actually do like murderers and rapists. It's where they kind of get off on more or less. But I mean, they love seeing us torture us over every little thing, and Christianity especially has been taking a hell of a hit, and that could be a whole freaking hour and a half long discussion about how the left is goes after Christianity to use Christianity after you. It's the same thing as if they use try to use the Constitution against us, but then piss all over it when they want their way. Especially with the Second Amendment of bringing up every little thing. And I'm hoping that's going to be an executive order that Trump gives to Mike Johnson to kind of push through the House, and we can get it through the Senate, or vice versa, whatever needs to get brought up. But the whole concealed carry, one card allows you to conceal carry throughout the whole United States. Because like right now, I can't. If I want to go to say Indiana, the legal way I would have to do it is to go to Missouri, way down over the Kentucky area, and then back up through up north to get to Indiana to be able to properly conceal carry my firearm. And I, because Illinois has some of the strictest gun laws in the world, uh, and a lot of murders in Chicago every year. Uh, but it's illegal unless I have the gun in a storage case, and the magazine has to be someplace else, and everything's got to be locked. So if you ever were to have troubles in Illinois and you're a law-abiding citizen, you can't defend yourself in Illinois. Pretty much the same way in California. It takes a lot to be able to defend yourself. So, but having a national one would be great because most gun owners, 99% of us gun owners are very responsible people. We do have some idiots out there that just, but we have idiots that operate tools also too. So hey, you give a man a tool and you can prove how intelligent he is within the first 5 minutes of him holding on to the tool. So, and I give that to wrenches also, but um, yeah, we got the House vote was great. It's just been a great week. Loving what I'm seeing so far. Not too often. I mean, there's been some times where I've disagreed with Trump. One thing I disagreed with him on in the first administration when he was talking about, more or less infringing on our Fourth Amendment rights of red flag laws, which are, your neighbor could get pissed off at you and, you know, make up a story and tell the cops that you have guns and they fear for their life, and now you lost your guns, and you got to be able to you got to go to court to get it back. You got to prove that your neighbor was lying, or red flag laws are dumb. That's the whole Minority Report, uh, thought crime. Unfortunately, we do have free will, and you can think you're going to do something right up until the minute we'll say you're going to off somebody. Right up until the point you pull that trigger, you still have free will to not do that. So nobody can predict that. I don't think anybody would be able to predict, like in the Minority Report, and they proved it wrong in the Minority Report by changing your actions. When you know what the future is going to be, you can change your actions as But science fiction movie, but kind of isn't a science fiction movie. But then again, a lot of our science fiction movies, not too far fetched to be in science fiction, but of course, he talked about going to Mars. Elon's behind that mainly. Of course, Elon's got a heck of a good thing going with that SpaceX. I did see where one of them did kind of explode on reentry. They caught the booster part of it, but well, I think he said, well, if $100 million just blows up, it's like, oh, okay, well, you still got to go on, but that sucks. That's a lot of money that got wasted, and a lot of his stuff is reusable, which is great. But um, actually get to Mars, it might not be able to. Anyway, January 6th, people being released. I did hear, I have read where there are some jails, some jurisdictions that are being not playing ball with Trump on this and keeping them, but more or less a little over 1,500 of the January 6th political prisoners were released, um, including like Ricky Terrio, who was put in for 22 years, and he wasn't even in D.C. at the time. He never made it there for on January 6th. He was actually arrested January 5th. So it, it was all a political witch hunt. Of course, it's getting really, really hard to get down to the bottom line of what happened, especially after, for some weird reason, I'm still trying to understand it. Maybe that's the critical thinker in me, but the January 6th committee admitted to destroying a terabyte worth of video evidence and all this other stuff. It's like, well, wait a minute. Okay, here's where I kind of started thinking, where did they, if they got this video from the Capitol Police, did the Capitol Police already destroy their evidence? Because I don't think they can destroy the stuff. I mean, I just saw a video from Houston where they were talking about how they had marijuana in their evidence holding from 1993, and they finally passed something that they could destroy everything pre 2015. So hopefully they preserved everything and we can go through this video. I mean, a lot of the video was released thankfully by Mike Johnson, one of the few good things that he did right away, but and that helped get a few of them out. But when the FBI admits that they had 26, not agents but assets, confidential informants, um, as much as Christopher Wray lies, as much as the FBI has lied in its whole entire existence up until now, and it's still kind of sketchy. We don't have cash in yet. He hasn't gone in front of any confirmation hearings yet. But one thing the FBI lies. I mean, you can't tell them, if you get wrong, you had a tuna fish sandwich and on this X day, but you tell them you had a ham sandwich, they will arrest you for and throw you in jail for lying to the FBI. They did it for Roger Stone. Not normally they don't, but depending on who you are, they can arrest you for lying. But you think the police are bad lying to you. The FBI is even worse at lying about every little thing that's going on. So if they're saying there's 26, I'm in the right mind to think that 100 is a very conservative number that were probably in the crowd. I'm thinking probably higher than 100 would be more accurate that were known FBI assets. I do believe there was agents involved also. There were still some people that never did get arrested, like the lady that was busting out one of the side windows on the Capitol. She never got arrested. Who is she? She never ended up on FBI's most wanted list. Ray Epps was on there for a day and got taken down because, well, I do believe he's working with them. He was working with them. You had other people sitting in jail for almost 4 years without even going to trial for just walking into the building, whereas you had him instigating people to go in, and nothing really happened to him. It's just really ironic how all that works. But hopefully now Trump is in. Thank God Trump is in. He can get to work. We're already, everything is looking up. We got to be a little. I'm an optimistic person, so but it was really starting to strain on me, especially towards the end of last week. I mean, we had 2 known assassination attempts. Supposedly, there was a couple assassination possible attempts during Carter's funeral. So it's really, my optimism was failing, but I still had hope. And he's in. The cleaning up can begin. The freedoms coming back to we the people the way it should be. Uh, and I really hate these lefty people. And if you are a lefty listening or watching this, Donald Trump has got a heart of gold. He has nothing but our interests. Again, he is working this job at $1 a year. He says he's not taking a paycheck. Unfortunately, he has to take a dollar, at least a dollar. A $400,000 salary he's giving up because that's what it means to him. If anybody had heard all the stories about his random acts of kindness that he did for people throughout his whole life, it's amazing. And it's really funny how everybody wanted to be Donald Trump. Everybody wanted to be him. Everybody looked up to him, even when he failed, when he had a couple of failures that knocked him back a couple of steps with filing bankruptcies in different areas. Things happen in business. That does happen. There's been thousands and thousands of companies that have gone bankrupt. But to dig yourself back up out of the ashes and build yourself bigger, that's even better. You took one on the cheek and you stepped right up. Um, he didn't need this job, but you could see how the world is going to respect us now. We've got Anwar, Alaska opened up. You're going to see gas prices drop. We are going to have the best energy in the world. It's going to go. It's going to help the world, not just us, but it's going to help the world. We're going to stop killing whales by stop putting up this wind generation stuff in the North Sea. I'd like to see them all come down here in Iowa. We had to pay to put these up, and now we pay even more on our electric bill beyond that. Plus, we pay for that with our taxes for these wind towers. And the solar is no better at all. The solar is very susceptible to weather. If you have any type of weather, they're going to break. Uh, haven't seen one yet. Maybe Tesla does have one somehow. Elon does. Supposedly they're pretty durable, but they're very toxic to the earth. They seep a lot of crazy stuff down, but forever chemicals. So again, the green new energy stuff is done. We're out of the Paris Accords, and we're still not polluting. What's great is we're still not polluting. You could say it's pollution, but it's not really pollution. Carbon dioxide is not pollution. Carbon dioxide is the reason why NASA says over the last 40 years the Earth has become like 40% greener because of the carbon dioxide level that actually get back up to where they're supposed to be. So we're actually kind of helping that out. Not to say that green energy, electric vehicles isn't good, but we still got to be able to power them. We had a fire out there in California too with one of their battery places that holds the energy because we produce more than what we could take, and you got to be able to store the energy. So again, until we have storage, electric stuff is kind of, we got to stay with coal and liquid natural gas and all that good stuff. So, but it's a good week. We have a lot of optimism. The hopium is high now here. It's great. Can't wait to see what more happens here in the next week. He done a lot within the first 24 hours. The man don't sleep, I swear, and he's going to make us better. I think we finally see what rock bottom actually is, and that was the last of the Biden administration. I didn't mention anything about Biden pardoning people. I will say look for them to be probably challenged in court. Mark Milley's pardon, I love that. I thought that was great that Biden pardoned General Mark Milley because Mark Milley is still going to probably get tried in a military court because the president can't pardon you out of the military. That's what's great. So, and his photo's already taken down in the Pentagon. That's even better. That's freaking hilarious. But I think we will wrap everything up for today. The hopium's good. We'll keep up the good work. again, you can help me out that way. Otherwise, I work at All Tune and Lube there at Cedar Rapids on Blair's Ferry Road. Stop in, say hi. We can talk. We can do whatever. I can fix your car. So anyway, I'll talk to you at another time. God bless you all. Thank you very much.